Before that I will write 8 cell method or Horn method, or it is also known as third order finite difference method. So what we do in this method, let me draw first the 3x3 window. Okay, so let's draw the window over here. In this method we will be calculating, remember, in all this 3x3 window, if you have noted that in all this 3x3 windows we are calculating slope for the center point. Okay, so in all the method we have studied, we are doing it for the central point. So what we do here is following. The slope formula is as below. I will make a label, okay, and then I will write the formula. So the center, you are calculating slope for Z0. Remember, Z0 is our cell of interest, for which this is a point, slope. This is a cell in which we want to calculate our slope. In all method we are doing for this cell. Okay, so let the top be Z1, second be Z2, third is Z3, Z4, Z5, Z6, Z7, Z8. Okay, now what will be the value in the x direction? What will be the slope in the x direction? So let's before writing the formula, I would like to highlight which cell I'm going to consider. Now in 8 cell method you are considering all the 8 cell. I will highlight, you are considering this cell, Z2, Z3, Z4, Z5, Z6, Z7 and Z8, all of them, to compute the slope. Whereas if you remember in the 4 cell method you are only considering north, south, east, west slopes cells. So this is the difference. Okay, now at first For the x direction, which cell to consider? For x direction, I will consider these cells and these cells. Okay, so how they are considered? They are considered as following: your dz by dx is equal to z3 plus 2 time of z5 plus z8 minus z1 plus 2 time of z4 plus z6. Okay, so here how much you are considering z3? You are considering it, the factor here is only 1. How much you are considering z5? Z5 has a factor of 2. How much you are considering z8? Z8 has a factor of 1 again. Okay, now when you compute this, you whole divide it by 8 times cell size, which is C. Each cell size here is C. Okay, so this is the formula. Okay, let me verify this formula. Let me check the values and I'll continue. Yeah, it's correct. Okay, and this C is the cell size in the x direction, so I will call it Cx. Okay, now what will be the slope with respect to y? The slope with respect to y will be following. And this method, if you want to know detail about this method, you look for Horn method, you check its research paper, or look for third order finite difference. So this will make you understand why we are taking this 1 to 1. Now let's calculate the slope in the y direction. So for y direction, we'll consider this cell and these cells. Okay, so from which value we will start? We'll write first. We'll write the bottom cells first. Okay, so bottom cells are z6 plus 2 times z7 plus z8 minus z1 plus 2 times z2 plus z3. You minus this and whole divided by 8 times of cy, where cy is cell size in the y direction. Now the total slope, which is also known as rise run, sometimes total slope S or rise run, will be equal to root of dz divided by dx square, slope in x direction and slope in the y direction. Okay, while slope in degrees, it will be equal to A tangent of rise run, or A tangent of S, you can also call this as S, multiplied by U, so this will give you in radians. So to convert it into degrees, you multiply it by 180 divided by pi, and 180 divided by pi is equal to 57.29578. Okay, now we may face a problem, and the problem can be that we can encounter a cell with no value, no data. How that can be? So what are no data cells? No data cells are the cells at you will encounter them when you are at the edge. For example, let's say this is your grid, and your raster DEM file is somewhat like this. So what is its size? Let me count. This is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 multiplied by, and in vertical it is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, 7 times 9. This is our cell size. Now to calculate the slope, and if you are going to calculate your slope in somewhere over here, for example here, I want to calculate my slope. It's the method which I have explained, that you will make use of a grid of a window of 3 cross 3. So for this, the window will be somewhat like this, and you will have cell values in all of these cells. In all of these cells you will have cell values, and they will help you to calculate slope in between, in the midpoint. Okay, but what you will do for the corner cell, suppose you want to calculate slope over here. Now if you want to calculate slope over here, and the method of calculation involve a 3 cross 3 window. So if you try to make a 3 cross 3 window, it will be somewhat like this. Now in this window, if you observe, you will have a cell value in these cells, in only these 4 cells, whereas rest of the cell they are 1 2 3 4 5, they are empty cell, and in these empty cells you have no data. So what you will do for no data? For no data, one way to deal with is that check the value in your center cell. You go here and check your value in the center cell. So let's say the center cell is Z0. We already know that it is Z0. So what this node data cell will become, all these node data cell will also become Z0. The value of this cell will become the value of this cell. So let's say here the value is 100. So all the cell value will become what? 100. You will remove this empty cell with the value of, you will remove them with the value of 100. Okay, so this is how you can deal with the calculation.